Cheers, guys. Epix 911. Welcome to the Elitist Geek VR news for
Gaming Friday.
Gaming Friday indeed, November 25th, 2016. Let's jump right into VR, guys. Start with the usual preamble. Steam, we know about their sale. Of course, Oculus is going to follow suit, and they have done exactly that with their Thanksgiving sale. Lots of decent discounts on, and there's definitely decent games. There's some Cruft in there too. And I can honestly say the last few weeks, there's definitely been an increase of you guys telling me you've returned games and done the refund. So just the usual caution. Do your research on that. There are going to be attempts to capitalize from the holidays. There's definitely good titles though. So if you were on the fence, there's probably going to be another set of sales in December would be my guess. I'm fairly confident that both competitors want to capitalize as much as possible as this calendar year comes to an end. But if it's something you were jonesing for, now is probably the time to check it out and purchase it. All right, let's jump into the first news story. VR Locomotion and the omnidirectional treadmills. We haven't talked about these for a while. And kind of what a lot of you figured, and I ended up, taking that position, that they're just probably too unwieldy, logistically, cost-wise, just too prohibitive for any kind of mainstream support. This one recognizes that, we're probably not going to get this into the consumer home. This is going to be for businesses, venues, theaters, sports arenas, etc. And the company, it's a Chinese company, they call themselves KatVR, and you can't make this stuff up, guys. They've actually called their omnidirectional treadmill the Catwalk. With a K, but the Catwalk nonetheless, which is super cheesy, but hey, it's their company. That's what they named it. Sticker, price, $9,000 US. So you could buy one for your home, but it's probably going to cost you half the price of a new car in doing so. This one is frictionless. You can see I'm not convinced it's any better than any of the other ones for way less price. The ones that we saw back in June and July of 2016. But check it out. I have included the link if you want to see what a commercial or self-professed commercial version of an omnidirectional treadmill looks like. Next up, VRCover. This is a company I've talked about in the past, showed their product, purchased their product, didn't end up getting one for the Rift, only got the covers for the HTC Vive because of the way it kind of didn't fit properly on the Oculus Rift. With this latest round of product, they've done a lot of work on that. So they've actually worked with Oculus to create faceplate inserts. And you'll be able to actually put the VR covers on. In fact, it comes bundled with those covers. So I'm going to probably look into that, grab a pair. I'll share that with you guys. But they work closely with the company. There's one that brings your face in closer than the stock one. Actually increases the field of view a bit, which makes sense. I mean, same effect as when you press them tighter. Of course, that's going to impact your focus, etc. You'll have to adjust. And the other one makes it even more comfortable for glasses. So check that out. I've included the link in the description per normal down below. Next news article asks if audiences are ready for mature and serious VR content. Now, my answer to that would be, of course we are. Many of us are adults. That shouldn't be a choice. And this is coming from Upload VR, so I don't think they took the angle that they're somehow, convinced that the only people who own VR are children, because the obvious is no, probably 80% plus are adults. So I think it's a silly question to have to ask in the first place, because I believe in that kind of freedom. The individual should be able to purchase a game. If it has nudity in it, fine. If it has violence in it, fine. You're an adult. There's obviously degrees of violence and It can cross certain lines. But for the most part, and especially with the type of game that you could create that would be a horror to the extreme. And let's face it, VR is the perfect medium for absolutely terrifying horror games. I don't think the concern should be as much, our audience is mature enough for it. That's the wrong question to ask, because adults, it should be left for us to decide, not somebody else. The bigger concern to me is just the health aspect. You've got somebody with a heart condition. I mean, go to Disneyland, check any of those rides out, the ones that toss you around. They ask that same question. Do not proceed if you have a heart condition. And that would be my main concern, not are we mature enough to handle it. Anyways, have a read of that. I've included the link. Let me know. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, guys. All right. This next one. Little cheesy, guys, only because the tone, to me anyways, have a read, let me know what you guys think. The tone of the author on the Verge.com write-up was a little snarky. To me, it came across like he was going to not only put the poll up, asking the questions, but unanimously have it go in his favor. The snarkiness that I kind of got out of that was, and let's listen to the title first, because this is his actual title. How's that VR headset working out for you? And then it goes on to talk about some of the things, expectations, etc. Look at the poll, though, and I'm going to actually put the poll up. I thought that was kind of funny, because I think it's the inverse of what he had hoped would happen. So I kind of got a chuckle out of that. But we've heard a lot about polls, especially the last 4 weeks with elections and whatnot. How good are polls? Well, they're only as good as the people you ask. And with demographics, socioeconomics, there's so many factors. Unless you truly sweep across all of that, are you ever going to be that accurate? As somebody who's taken statistics, I get that. I understand the numbers behind it. But still, you make 5,000 calls, to a specific neighborhood, you could get a lot of different opinion than had you gone 100 kilometers in a different direction. So take it with a grain of salt. It's still interesting, though, and that's the part that I enjoy with that article, is just I get the feeling the outcome wasn't what the author was hoping for. All right. This next article is really interesting. This is from Wired.com, and it asks a question about the future. And what it asks specifically is, how is virtual reality going to change society, right? What is the impact going to be? And if you let your imagination run rampant, the potential for VR, we've talked about all kinds of aspects, but I want to take a slightly different approach and just kind of project ourselves in the future in terms of what we could have. But before we do that, let's just quickly talk about the past. Here in Canada, due to Amazon, eBay, obviously other economic factors, but the internet had a huge hand in this. We lost multiple department stores. Woolco, Zellers, Eaton's, Woodward's, Kmart. Like I said, some of it was competition. When we had Walmart come up here, they were stiff competition for a lot of these department stores. But with that said, the internet had a huge hand in that. That's the reality. And look at shopping malls. Shopping malls are starting to feel a little antiquated as well. So it's going to be interesting as the technology increases. Think about it. Think about our homes. Having a virtual representation of your home, one-to-one scale. Scale not just in resolution and how it looks, but being completely accurate, from physics to graphics to the sound your floorboards make when you walk across them. You will literally be able to do stuff like try out furniture without ever having to leave your seat, changing stuff, carpet to hardwood, all that potential, having the ability to sit with somebody, what we do here on the Gaming Fridays, have him use his HMD at his place, me here, but have the man cave setting look so realistic that it actually feels like we're there, and I look like I do in real life, and he looks like he does in real life. It's a trippy mind trick to think about that, but that's the direction it's going in. How long is it going to take is anybody's guess, but it's going to happen, and it's going to have a huge impact, and things are going to have to adapt, and the things that don't adapt to that, whether it's department stores or whatever, they're going to fall by the wayside. And like those department stores that I rattled off, they will go extinct. All right, guys, that's it for the news for this Gaming Friday. Hope you guys have a terrific one. As always, cheers, and definitely catch you on the VR flip side.